Well, after a gruelling legal battle, the High Court has upheld a guilty verdict against directors of the former asbestos manufacturer James Hardie. Today's judgment is a major victory for the corporate regulator ASIC. And as Kerry Brewster reports, it also sends a blunt warning to company directors across the nation.
It came down to the wording of a press release. The year was 2001 when Meredith Hellicar and her fellow directors moved the James Hardie company offshore, leaving behind what they described as a fully funded compensation foundation that would provide certainty for victims of asbestos.
Pay the victims now!
In fact, it was short $1.5 billion and soon faced bankruptcy. Today, the High Court upheld the New South Wales Supreme Court's judgment that the directors and executives breached their duties by approving a misleading statement to the Australian Stock Exchange, a significant win for the corporate regulator, ASIC.
We will take on the hard cases and we'll fight them to the best of our ability, and that, our objective is to make sure that nobody is beyond the reach of the law.
The court rejected arguments by the directors that they had not approved the statement issued to the Stock Exchange. It's a verdict welcomed by asbestos victims, including mother of four, Serafina Salucci, who is battling the aggressive mesothelioma cancer.
Obviously, I'm pleased. I think it just sends a message that companies and corporations can't get away with doing whatever they think they can get away with. And acting immorally, basically.
We're going to fight until we get justice.
Asbestos campaigner Bernie Banton's widow calls it a bittersweet victory.
Should never really have come to this. As far as I'm concerned, they really only had a slap on the wrist anyway. So to be this far down the track and it's still only just being resolved through the High Court is it's pleasing, but it's also quite frustrating.
The case returns to the Court of Appeal, which will issue penalties. Corporate law expert and former Trade Practices Commissioner, Professor Bob Baxt, says today's ruling is significant. So what's the message here for company directors in Australia?
Well, clearly, non-executive directors are now regarded as having a higher standard of care that they have to exercise. They can't rely on others within the company, especially companies whose shares are listed on the ASX and the Stock Exchange. They need to review the information themselves. If they're uncertain about the information, if there are some doubts, they should go and get a second opinion.
Australians are investing more in equity with superannuation, and they should be able to be confident that the information upon which they're investing is reliable and is accurate.
ASIC will now feel more confident that in cases where they feel the directors have not behaved with appropriate care and diligence, that they will be able to successfully run cases in the courts and get a result.
ASIC is now waiting for judgment on a major High Court case, an appeal by miner Andrew Forrest against a decision by the Federal Court that he and his company breached disclosure requirements to the Stock Exchange concerning contracts with Chinese investors. Kerry Brewster, Lateline.